What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the South America Monthly Finals Grand Final. This is actually a matchup which determines who reaches the World Finals, who reaches LCQ. So it's all on the line. At the moment, Space Station Gaming are ahead, but it literally just comes down to this game. Of course, if they lose for esports, they manage to claw their way to the World Finals. And this was actually former FA Minipeckers, but it's been a bit of a flip in form. So if you guys are unaware of this region, I think Space Station Gaming won the first two monthly finals, and then FA Minipeckers won the next two. They also won a LAN the other week. So just going to show that, you know, FUT definitely looking like the better team at the moment. But I definitely can't underestimate the likes of Firecrow, the Hideout, and Adino as well. Literally all of these players are insane. Ever since they picked up, again, I completely butcher his name, but I think it's, I'll just call him Jube for sure. I think he's just solidified their roster, and also Roll as well as a coach. I'm not too sure when he joined. I'm pretty sure he joined not too long ago. And we all know Roll in the EMEA region. He is definitely a good coach. He was on Tribe before. I'm trying to think of the other one as well. I can't remember the top one off my head. Maybe it was Clash or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, somewhere in the EMEA. But we have the draft that's unfolded, which I haven't really spoke about. So Hot Potato, of course, Rico really good. We see Barley always drafted into a Rico. We see the Dynamite, which is pretty interesting. And the Surge, which again is interesting. And they go with Larry. They go with Double Thrower. I mean, I see it working. Double Thrower could work. I don't know who to side with for this comp. So you've got Gale versus Rico in mid, and Rico is going to easily win that. And then Surge shouldn't theoretically move. So surely Space Station have comp here, but I think it's very clear, especially when I watched like a few of the games through this broadcast, and like even the casters themselves were saying that the drafts look clearly in favor of FUT esports at the moment, and that's of course a big help for Roll, because he'll be doing a lot of the drafts. You see him there with the laptop. He'll be locking it in, trying to get the best drafts as possible. But I still get this sneaky feeling that SSG might be able to come out on top. Anyways, Larry should definitely be beating a Dynamite every single time in a 1v1. And that's why you see Pekka straight away switch lane. So Pekka's actually using speed gear. I'm not too sure why he's using speed on Dynamite. I mean, I guess there's a lot of grass on this map, but I think I'd just rather use probably like shield and damage on a Dynamite. So Surge going to look to push in, does get clapped immediately here. Looks like Motep's going to get a good angle onto Firegrow, but he can stay alive with his gadget there. Rico's going to do some decent bouncing. I guess Rico's actually done a good thing there, switching star power, because he's facing off against Double Thrower. I actually think that's a smart play, because when you're facing off against counters with Rico, you probably want to switch over star power, because you're not going to be able to move the entire game against a Larry and a Barley. So Barley versus Dynamite. I feel like Barley should win it, but Dynamite can definitely win it as well. It's not like a big mismatch up for Dynamite. He just needs to catch the Barley off guard. I'm not too sure. I mean, Pekka's using jump here, which is kind of zesty if you ask me. I'm trying to wait for him to cook right now on the jump, but it's not really doing all too much. Yeah, like I said, it looks like a complete outdraft. Like, what is Surge going to be able to do? It looks like Motep's going to get some really good value with the hypercharge though, but there's not much damage rated down whatsoever. If I was SSG, I would just look to try and... Oh no, I thought there was one on the far right. I didn't realize that. Firecrow actually went down there. Looks like there's going to be literally a trade off there. Motep's going to be really weak. And the Surge, like, what can you even do as Surge? The only hope you have as a Surge is if you can sneak in the first interaction and get your first level. I didn't see what gadget he used the entire game, but it looks like he's finally got his first level, but it doesn't really matter. Hypercharge Super comes in here, completely takes him down. 25 seconds left. SSG have full control. This is looking all but over. So, I mean, although there's a very dominant first round, I'm going to guess there's going to be some early strategy changes from FUT to try and get Surge to his first level and make it a little bit more chaotic. That's what you want against Double Thrower. Of course, if you go in Double Thrower, you're looking to hold control the entire game. You're not looking for base racing. You're looking to literally what SSG did there. Just keep the opponents back all of the time. And yeah, I'm liking it from SSG. Definitely a good draft. But this is why you see in Hot Potato and a lot of different game modes, people just end up like triple banning throws because they can be toxic. This is why I tried to teach you guys with the rank guide also on my main channel that throwers can counter so much. If you've not got anything that is aggressive, like FUT have nothing aggressive, then throwers are just gonna hard counter completely here. So they're gonna send Surge mid again. Is he using... Okay, he's using that gadget, so I'm still surprised. Even though Gale's using slow, I'm still surprised it took him that long to build up his first level here. But then again, it is a Gale with slow, and then Barley's just helping him every single time. P.E.K.K.A, great stun onto Barley there. I know P.E.K.K.A's a good dynamite because I've seen it before in other monthly finals and other tournaments. Like, he has clapped on the dynamite sometimes. So he's going to go in here on the Barley. Oh, absolutely claps him again. This is what they need more of. Then another stun. This guy is goated on the dynamite. I'm not even joking at all here. The problem with it is if you, of course, use Dyna Jump, you miss out a bit of a damage, and it does affect, I think, the interactions. Looks like the Surge is going to pop off there, and he gets the kill. This is what I'm talking about. They need to make it messy. They need to just keep up the aggression non-stop, because if you just go in it plain and simple 3v3, like everyone in their determined lanes like it was last game, you're not going to win. So you need some messiness here. So P.E.K.K.A's going to jump in. He's not going to get the kill onto Dog, and the heals from the gadgets are actually insane. Keeps him alive. P.E.K.K.A's going to use his hypercharge here, allows him to just push forward, which was a good use of it, to be honest. Just keep his super as well. And P.E.K.K.A's getting some really good chip damage with the damage gear activated as well. He's going to go for the kill on Dog. Somehow Dog survives that one. Here comes the hypercharge on the safe as well. I think, is that getting 2k? Yeah, it is getting 2k ticks at a time, and that's a lot of damage onto the high save. So looking pretty good for SSG now. Motep's going to go in, but the Gale auto aim is just too strong. Looks like a hypercharge is going to get popped. P.E.K.K.A's one shot going to get taken down. Great pinch from SSG. Surge just really can't do anything. I'm just unsure on the Surge pick. Obviously, they're like considering that they might face off against tanks, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Right. Dog, he's going to survive that interaction again. Super goes out. All they need to do is snuff out P.E.K.K.A here. They don't even need to do that because there's a lot of damage on the safe. And that's going to be Adinio finishing off the safe right there. So, like I said, SSG, that was a complete mismatch. I feel like FUT actually did a decent job to stay in the game for that long. Anyways, it's going to be SSG winning the first set. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into set number 2, we have Pinball Dreams Brawl again. So again, I kind of wish they switched up the final maps for every region, but I guess it kind of makes sense. It's just a lot easier when you just give every region the same maps to the grand final. So you guys probably just seen the same type of meta every time. So we see a Berry first pick from FUT, which, you know, Berry kind of get countered, especially by aggression, but it is a good throw map. You see a lot of throws banned. Frank is the ban on the right bottom corner. We don't see a Lily ban. We're not really seeing too much Lily at the moment. Lily's more of a late pick brawler now. Like, she was broken before the nerf, but I definitely felt like the nerfs had more of an impact on her in the meta. We see another Chester pick. Obviously, the good thing about playing on a Sunday is that you can watch APAC and EU on how they draft and pick up some kind of notes as well. And that's why I feel like, if anything, NA are probably in the best situation because they can see how these other teams draft, what works, what doesn't. So yeah, South America clearly learning here because they have a Chester and Brawl, and I think that was the same in EMEA and APAC. They go with a Rico. So I know Rico's definitely better in the meta. It's just hard for Rico to work against better players a lot of the time. But Rico could be good in Twist, but I've just got a feeling that they're going to get outdrafted again here because, like, Rico and Gale, they're two mid-brawlers on this map. You've also got the fact that if they've got to go Wall Break, I think, Space Station. If they go Griff, I think, or Stu, yeah, Stu, Wall Break. Literally, I think SSG have drafted here personally because you got Chester that can eventually get the wall breaks. You got Stu with the wall breaks. That's going to counter both Rico and the Berry. Berry hasn't, he's got good synergy, but he hasn't really got like any crazy synergy in his composition, which you do need with Berry. Like, you need like a max, you need like a tankier option because then you can cycle through supers a lot. Gale does have a good matchup into Meg, to be honest, I think, with the slow star power. And then I guess Rico's just going to go lane. But the problem is, like, Barry doesn't deal a lot of damage, especially against Chester. Chester has a lot of HP. Like, 7.4k HP is a lot. So you'll see here, I'm quite interested to see how Barry is played in this situation. There's a lot of grouping, but that's just going to allow SSG just to collapse onto them easier. So, ooh, that's going to be a walkthrough. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, here's me talking about SSG not having the best drafts, but I think they've outdrafted twice in a row. So if I go with an early super here, I'm not too sure about it because he's not going to cycle through to it. Looks like Gale's going to be able to get a kill onto Stu, but now Mega locks onto him. That's going to be an easy kill. Ficro can just stay in the grass. He's using a speed gear as well. Yes, I guess speed is good on this map. Adinio should be able to finish Pekka. Okay, Pekka manages to stay alive. That's going to be another Berry super. And Rico does have Hypercharge, but we're in a sticky situation here. He probably needs to look to pop it pretty soon. Good heal from the Berry. That's going to be a pass over, and that's going to be a goal. What insane synergy right there. And SSG managed to clinch the first round. That was, again, I'm a little bit, I don't know, like, I'm just lost for words because normally outdrafts like this don't really happen too often, and I was really expecting a lot more from FUT. I mean, they can still turn around and win this game, but this is just so one-sided, and I just didn't expect it, especially for the recent form. Maybe SSG just have the ice. Maybe SSG can handle the pressure better. In these type of scenarios, it is a big influencer. You might not think it, but there's people who can handle pressure the most. It just comes down to like esports, sports in general, just anything in life. If you can handle the pressure, you're going to be able to come out on top on big moments like this. Anyways, here's me waffling. So he puts the twister down, so Stu can't really get the most value out of the gadget. That's quite hilarious. Can he not even use the gadget there? I don't think he can. So Kyle Dog goes in aggro there, does get some good positioning, and it's just looking like this could be another SSG goal. So good stun from the Gale there. It's not using slow star power, I guess. Stun's really good on this map. There's so many walls that you can confirm kills with. But again, like Barry's good, but I think as a standalone brawler, he's quite easy to pressure and pick off. And I just think, I mean, he gets a really good value double super there. Oh, Kai Dog nearly manages to score there. You can see as well, like, yes, you heal up your teammates, but you didn't get healed with that super. So that's also another not great thing. Motep can just heal up Pekka here, heals up the Gale as well. So seeing a lot of value out of Berry, but we're just not seeing much pressure up the map. It just seems like SSG kind of had their number here, constantly pressuring around. So Pekka does have Hypercharge, can probably use it here. Not really going to get the best value out of it. I mean, I've not really seen anyone use Rico's Hypercharge to full effect. It is pretty hard to get the right moment for it, but if you can, it's gonna lead to a goal for sure. So also Gale has a Hypercharge here. None of the members from SSG do. Normally in Brawl, it is very favorable to have a Hypercharge Brawl, maybe even two, because if you can combine a couple of Hypercharges, it normally means a goal pretty much every single time, because Hypercharges still are pretty broken in the game, to be honest. You see that Gale one, it just leads to overwhelming interactions, and now they can start to push up. Good stun from the Gale there, and now if they can keep this position or even potentially score here, there is a Meg though. They're going to go for the walk in, and Pekka manages to get it in time. So 10 seconds left. I don't think there's anything that SSG can really do right here. Good super from Pekka. He's just deleting them now. So yeah, good patience from FUT overall, but this is what I'm talking about. In Brawl, I think it's always advised in the draft, if you can, to get a Hypercharge Brawler in that draft. So the way that I do it in ranked is I literally sort by power level, and then it sorts the Hypercharge Brawlers. I know this is only for maxed out players, right? I know a lot of you guys won't be, but it makes you like think about the Hypercharge Brawlers first. I definitely look at that in Brawl. It's a good strategy. Like, even if you haven't got the best matchup, those matchups can be overturned with a broken Hypercharge to score your goals. So Firecrow is using the gadget that I like to use as well. He did actually get the best of it, the extra reload, but he didn't use it to good value whatsoever here. So Firecrow definitely has a bad matchup. To be honest, I was going to say I would switch to matchups, but I probably wouldn't though, because Chester does have the most HP, so he can at least buy the most time against Berry here. So now FUT is starting to get a lot of pressure on the map. And now we can see Pekka just delete everyone with the Hypercharge. I mean, here's me saying that the Rico Hypercharge won't get the most value, but here comes Becca, and that's going to be the goal for FUT. So I like it this time around. It definitely, I think they just shook off all their nerves, and they're managing to do pretty decently. Again, Ficro isn't really charging up his super against anything right here, so he can't open up the map. So this is why it's pretty painful, but also put the Rico onto the Meg, which is okay on this type of map, and especially if you get that the kill as you see in there, and then once you push into the enemy spawn with Rico, there's just so many dirty bounce opportunities, so it makes it really easy for Rico to just dominate. Nice stun from the Gale there, confirming the kill onto Stu, and this is why you're kind of seeing Stu fall off the meta a little bit. If you guys have realized, I mean, I won't consider him an A tier brawler, or maybe like B tier. He's always like got a place, but I just don't notice him doing all that much, especially in this type of meta. Like, I would have personally preferred like a Griff even, or just anything that can confirm wall breaks a lot easier. So like this, they're struggling. Their kind of strategy here is to have two kind of half decent wall break options, but they've not opened up the map whatsoever. I'd just preferred a little bit more from them. So Kydog can survive pretty well here. 25 seconds left. It's really hard to push into a barrier which is consistently healing the enemy team. Again, Ficro is really struggling, not even managing to get any supercharge up. But all the opponents are all the way back. Pekka's using his hypercharge, Rico super, and there's nothing that SSG can really do. So, I mean, FUT literally turned that game on the flip of its head, because Space Station looked like they had the draft. It looked like they just had the gameplay. They were dominating, and then FUT just flipped a switch and managed to win. So we've got a game on our hands here. Love to see it. That's going to be the second set. Going to FUT. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, so jumping into set number 3, we've got our favorite map, Flare and Phoenix. You guys are probably going to be sick to death of watching this map. What more do I even need to say about it? I've complained enough in 2 videos already. Let's make it a third time. So Kit is first picked, which is pretty good. If I was the opponents, I'll definitely be picking something like a Pelvo. That's always a good counter. If we go with Buster, which to stop the Kit Buster synergy. I've seen that before. Yeah, Ulti is banned. So again, I would go something like Pearl. There's no Gene. Trying to think of anything else that is pretty good against Kit. You've got Cordelius. Charlie's not really okay. Meg, yeah, Meg, high HP brawler. Kit can't do a lot against Meg. You just see Meg everywhere in the meta. Yeah, that's a brawler I've seen fall off as well, by the way. Charlie is just not really getting played right now. Have you guys seen much of Charlie? It's kind of crazy to me how she got a range nerf and she was played more, but then the slight damage nerf has actually crept up to her. But I've just not really seen her play too much. Maybe she's been underrated, especially like, I don't know, like in gem grab and stuff like that. Anyways, we see a Shelly and we see a Mandy. So Shelly is more of an EU pick, I would say, on Flare and Phoenix. I've not really seen it though this much in Flare and Phoenix on the meta. Again, I've not really watched too many scrims, but I've just not really seen it in the monthly finals. We see a Larry and Laurie as well. So in terms of the draft then, Kit hasn't really got any good synergy with any of these, but to me, I would like the Space Station game in draft personally, because there's no throw on a side of FUT. Kit hasn't got any good synergy with any of these. Shelly is just a meh counter to these, and Mandy is very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. But Mandy can't really confirm kills against any of these brawlers, so I'm just kind of wondering here. Let's see. I mean, it looks like I mean, this should be the round win for SSG. Yeah, I'm not too sure if the Kit has connection issues or something. That's why I'm just sitting back in spawn. I don't know what was really going on there, but like I mentioned before, Kit comps, they pretty much lose the first round every single time because they just get rushed, and there's nothing that Kit can really do without super. So now both teams are, we got this again. Yikes, apologies about this, but we're gonna have to wait a good minute for the action to unfold. So this is how it goes. I don't know why both teams are kind of banking on them winning the last engagement. I guess like SSG, they're scared of the Kit, especially in a 1v1. So I guess that can be a good strategy, because if you wait to the end, you can't just get picked off by the kit. You're always going to get a trade outright. You've also got to consider Shelly has hypercharge, which you don't want to be feeding on the side of SSG. You've also got, you know, Buster's already charged up with his super. Larry and Laurie, not really the most important. Looks like the kit's going to straight away jump onto someone, just like Semantic did in EMEA. Let's see if he goes for the... He's going to go for the jump onto Larry. We do actually get the trade out there. That's a really good Buster super. And yeah, there's nothing that Shelly can do in this moment, especially against the amount of HP. And that's SSG winning the first set. So I personally think it's a clear outdraft for SSG. I know I said in the second set that SSG should have the combat as well there, but I just think that was more of like just a little bit in favor of SSG. I think this is very in favor of SSG. Like, again, Mandy, she wouldn't be facing the squishier brawlers or even like low end thrower HP, but you know, Larry can survive a Mandy super, especially with the gadget. You've got Buster and Meg. What is Mandy super going to do against any of that? But here we go. Kit could have maybe jumped in there, but Tip is actually tapping on the Mandy though. This isn't a great start for SSG because Edinio's without his mech and Kit has super. They didn't really capitalize on the pressure there, so maybe this is for esports to win if they smell blood. So again, it's about jumping onto the right player. I'm focused on the Kit though. I want to see the strategy here and who he decides to jump on, because that's just good to know, because then you can learn something off that, right? So now Motep has his Mandy super. He can kill Meg with his super if he chooses to. I think he's going to hold on to it for the final engagement though. Kit's going to run over to the left hand side. It's actually weird to see none of these guys use shield gear as well. Like, Mandy's not using shield, Kit's not using shield, especially for knockout, considering all the action happens at the end. I mean, FUT, they're able to get a 1v2 right here, and now you can kind of see why Shelly is good in the end as well. So FUT can win the first round, and they're probably going to win the next one. Here's me talking about the compositions. Shelly is very good late game, like very good. That's why pros in EU like to use Shelly and knockout, because at the end you've got a Shelly super. Shashev's got a decent amount of HP as well, and some people opt to use Band-Aid as well to just help them out even more. So again, I'm looking at the strategies and they're both just waiting to the end. I don't know, I guess they kind of have to, but that's like both teams just saying, I'm happy for it to just be like a coin flip at the end, you know, just letting the Brawl Stars gods just kind of decide it. So Kit's looking to go on the aggressive here. Does jump out. I mean, did he think Larry was down that side? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking that Mandy would have super and then Kit would jump on them, and Mandy, like, Kit can call it out, but Mandy's super at the same time. That's what I was thinking. But now I would be looking to go aggro on the Kit, but now Kit has super, so it doesn't really matter. Kit is very weak though, decides to jump in. SSG really need to help out the Larry there. It's going to be a 1v1. Pekka has the hypercharge. Another gadget to tank it, and Adinio actually manages to win that 1v1. Holy, what a clutch from Adinio. The toolbox gadget actually being useful for once. I was wondering why he used toolbox, but maybe in those clutch 1v1s at the end to tank an extra shot, wherever else. Very, very good from Space Station. And now if they can win this round, which I feel like they need to, because it kind of, to me, it feels like FUT have the momentum a little bit here, and they'll be one set away from clinching that World Finals ticket. And of course, like, you need to get through and win this game right now if you're either of these teams, because LCQ is no joke. As we saw last year, it is so fierce, the competition, and even teams that go to LCQ have a chance of winning World Finals. Again, Stamina, they went through LCQ and then they nearly won World Finals. So you want to avoid LCQ if you can, like I would personally. Even though you get some good experience, you don't want to go through that stress. You just go to World Finals and it should be better. So looks like we're going to go into final circle here. Looks like he's jumping onto the Shelly. Good kill from the Mandy, and shortly SSG aren't winning this. 1v2 Adinio again. Oh, if he actually managed to get that swipe off, I think he would have won that round. And now it's going into the third round, right? I mean, I don't even know what you call it, third game within the set. It's just so many things to talk about. Knockout. Anyways, this is a cool setup, but I don't know about you. When I'm gaming, I like the lights on. because I swear when the lights are off, your eyes strain even more, especially when it's dark. That's what I got told when I was younger, so I used to always put the light on. Anyways. So Buster's got a cycle super here in the back, and again, we're just gonna watch a clown fest. I mean, you even know it's bad, right? If production have it ready for a split screen, you know this map's bad. I'm just hoping they remove it pretty soon. I mean, these guys are just spamming sprays because there's nothing more to do. So I wonder what strategy... Oh, he nearly went for it on a Mandy. I was going to say, what strategy are we going to adopt this time? Pekka's going to get pretty weak here. Again, I'm surprised they didn't go aggro on the kit in the first round. I think that just would be the strategy, to be honest. With no Shelly super built up, with no Mandy super, no kit super, I think SSG would have had the upper hand. So here comes the Buster super here, especially once the gas closes in. Should be pretty clutch for them. Motep's looking to charge that super, and it can be devastating in the final circle. He's getting some good taps in here. He can't use it yet because of the Buster shield. We need to try and get him down. That's a double super from Motep, and that's going to be a Shelly super. Nothing that Edinho can do in that 2v1. And now for esports to have the momentum, I was telling you, it looked dangerous. That Mandy super was just at the right time. He timed that to perfection. I've seen Motep on a Mandy before, and he does incredibly well. I'm just that timing, maybe I don't know what they could have really done differently there, because once the gas closes in, it's so easy to hit a Mandy super. I was always wondering, like, Mandy doesn't always work for me on this type of map because you can, you know, she's suspect to aggro brawlers, but SSG again just happy for it to come to this final bit here. So again, not much to really commentate on. We see Pekka. He went to go towards the left. I mean, he's just tweaking. Again, I'm kind of unsure why he's why these guys using the speed gear, because if all the action happens at the end, surely you just want like an extra gadget or a damage gear to help you in that last interaction. Like, you don't really need speed, if I'm being honest. Right, so Kit goes for the jump with Shelly again. I don't think there's much you can do. Kydog needs to time this super. Great block onto Motep this time around. Now 2v2 scenario. Pekka's going to use a hypercharge Shelly super. Kydog goes for it, and that's going to be the win for FUT. That was so incredibly close, but in the end, FUT just managed to win the final bit. And I just think they had better strategy towards the end. So FUT going to be 2-1 up here. Let's hop into the next set. Alright guys, jumping into the fourth set. This could be the final one for FUT, and they could claim their World Finals ticket right here. So we see the bands. The other band is Larry and Laurie. So in terms of good first picks, clearly it's Kit, Gale, and Larry. Larry is so underrated, I'd say, for the casual play base. Just forget about how good he is. And they go with the Frank SSG here. So this is Brave. Colette is banned. Lou is banned. So maybe they sense that play out of FUT, because those are the like two biggest counters by far. Also Gale as well. I mean, there's still all countable options out there. Chester as well. He's such a good option on Hot Zone right now. But again, I think we're seeing Tensai play again on Open Business. So just copying their strategies right here. Meg is just going to be able to melt through everything though. But at least Frank has a lot of HP. Barley in Open Business is insane as well with a heal gadget. Also the hypercharge, the super can flush out the mid zone. So these compositions are looking pretty good. I'm liking how the meta is shaped up at the moment. I mean, I'm not really though, because there's a lot of broken brawlers, but I'm kind of understanding it now. So Griff as well. I mean, do they take away the Griff so that Space Station can't pick it? Because it's kind of counterintuitive if you think about it. Like, you use Barley, but then you have Griff, whose best use case is to open up the map. So then I'm like, it's kind of one of those weird ones. So in terms of Space Station here, they go with a Stu. Stu. I mean, Stu's good against Griff, good 1v1. Can be good into Barley if the map's opened up. But I just don't really know about a Stu. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else that is kind of like... I mean, you can't really go like a Sandy, what people normally go. Should really have Brawl Stars open here just to see if there's any other brawlers you can go. Kind of surprised. I mean, I'm not really surprised. There's like hardly any Angelo at the moment. There's hardly any Melody as well. But I'm not surprised at the same time, because the meta's kind of shifting away from it a little bit, because people are just leaving open Meg for whatever reason, even though she's broken. It's a very messy meta. There's a lot of strong brawlers you got to consider. I mean, maybe they could have... No, I can't really go... Could I go Angelo into this? I don't know. But it looks like FUT going to get taken down here. Adinio's all the way in spawn, but buys him a lot of time. I do like the Chester, though. The fast movement speed is going to help him on the zone. Again, like... Barley's just hardly going to get any value. I mean, if I was Frank, just open up this wall here. Just literally open it up. I mean, he's looking for the value. He's going to use his super here on Motep eventually. That was a good hold of a super, to be honest, and he's still got a wall break. So good play from the Frank. But yeah, the more the map's open, the worse Barley's going to get. Some good plays from Kyle Dog right there. And again, it's looking like SSG have the comp. I know they've just won the first round again, like they've done in the previous few sets. But it's looking like they have the comp. It's more like that FUT are just able to, you know, make the better plays and adjust mid-set. But this is looking all but over. 15% left. What can they even do? Again, I just think the comp synergy from FUT wasn't really there, considering you went Griff after you went Barley. Maybe this still was a good play. This is looking pretty good. Kyle Dog is absolutely hyped up right now, and so he should be, because his World Finals ticket is on the line here. I want this to go to a 5th set, hopefully. So, you can see him trying to figure out a few things. Also, that Space Station merch is actually fire. Space Station is a goated org, by the way. I'm glad they're back in esports full-time. I'm glad all the orgs are, because Brooklyn Esports, it deserves it. It deserves a lot more than it's getting at the moment. So, it looks like Griff's going to open up the wall straight away. Barley is going to have an unsufferable matchup against Stu if he's aggressive enough. Stu's just feeding 3 supers as well from the Meg. Kyle Dog's going in behind. I mean, he is a crazy Stu, and he's getting a lot of value right here. Staying alive for so long. That's going to allow Adinio to back him up. And of course, Frank being Frank, he's just going to bulldoze his way up the map. And again, this is looking pretty bad for FUT. I'm actually surprised as well. Frank's using Sponge. I guess against good players, it's pretty hard to know whether you're going to get any kills with Frank. He's using shield gear as well. He's really just going for the all-out brute force, running at them, tanking as many shots as possible here. Adinio does have his hypercharge, Frank super as well. This again is looking pretty over. Frank's going to stay in the open. He's going to pop the hypercharge, which is going to give him a bigger shield boost as well. It's going to allow him just to tank so much. He just tickle him. He gets a 25% shield boost on top of the amount of HP he has as well as speed boost. Like, what can you even do to take down Frank? I mean, this is clearly an outdraft, like so clear. I called it. Like the synergy with Griff and Barley, I just weren't really feeling it, because there's a lot of other wall breaks you can go other than Griff, so I just don't think you really need to go. But here we go. Maybe I've jinxed them again. The spawn trap could come in pretty big right here. If I was Adinio, just push over on the right side, surely. I mean, they need to go now. Meg gonna go and mech. Kyle Dog zipping around like crazy. Here comes to Frank on the zone. He's just going to beef his way onto the zone. Gets the kill onto Pekka. Kyle Dog's going to zip his way onto the zone as well. Firecrow, there's nothing that Barley can really do here. And that's going to be the 4th set going to Space Station. You love to see it. These games are absolutely crazy, by the way. And Kyle Dog is hyped up as he always is. So, it's going to the 5th and final set. Let's jump into it. Jumping into the 5th and final set, we've got a banger right here. With literally this set determines who goes to World Finals, who goes to LCQ. There's a lot on the line. And we see the Pearl first pick. I really love Pearl on Hideout. It's just a perfect map for her because of the way the map's designed. You can easily just build up your heat. You can push the opponents back easily with Pearl. And I would say that, you know, snipers aren't actually always the best on this map. So you always see in ranks that people just go snipers all the time. I mean, I guess Piper and Nanny are banned here, but from what I've seen in draft over the months, you know, snipers aren't actually that good because they can get pressure back easily on this map. So the Jean and Meg combination. Meg in Bounty is very counterable though. So if I was Space Station 8, they're going to go with 8-bit, probably a thrower. Or they're going to go Byron maybe. Or, I mean, sure, they can't really go Byron because then they'll get destroyed by a thrower themselves. Someone's got to pair well with that 8-bit surely. Or who can manage to get the blue star. Maybe a Carl, maybe a Brock. I mean, I understand it because like I said, like if they go Byron, they're going to get clapped by a thrower. So they've gone Brock so they can break open the map in case there is a thrower. They're obviously going 8-bit just to try and spawn camp. But they go with a Byron. Okay, I still don't really like Space Station's composition too much. I don't really know. 8-bit's good against Meg though. Gene can get a free pull into Pearl and Brock. Unless Brock now switches to Jump Gadget. I don't know what to think of these compositions. They are pretty weird. There is a lack of pure damage though from FUT because you've got Meg who can chip. Well, Meg does a lot of damage, but you know, on a game mode like Bounty, it's hard for Meg to get close. Byron should be able to clap though. That's a great gadget from Firecrow. Pekka's going to go really weak. But we've seen as well, I forgot what map it was, but Byron just absolutely clapped a Pearl in the mid. So, well, no, I think it was Gale in the mid in another scenario, but it's kind of the same range. So this time, I think SSG looking to get the blue soul, which they've got, and then get that 8-bit turret and just sit back because it's pretty hard to push into an 8-bit turret and a Pearl and a Brock. All three of these brawlers I've actually noticed on SSG, it's really hard to push into. It's hard to push into a Brock if you didn't know already, but he's going to use the jump gadget as well, which is clever, but a lot of pressure is coming down from FUT right now. SSG going to get pulled as well, and this isn't looking hot. It's been a whole minute and 8-bit didn't get his turret, and that's going to be the downfall for them for sure. And the longer they leave it, Gene's going to get his pull again. It's going to be another free pull. So this isn't looking the greatest. Pearl needs to try and work her matchup onto this Meg, in my opinion. And they need to put the Brock on the Byron. That's probably like the best bet you've got. And then 8-bit can just kind of float around. Pekka's going to use Gadget here. Oh, 160 HP. That is really unfortunate. Kai Dog probably needs to use a super here on that mid wall. Or he's just going to wait. 8-bit's going to use turret here. And here we go. Surely it's going to lead to some good damage. Super going down. Not too really sure about that one. It's not really looking the most convincing. Everyone is just looking a bit disjointed. Motep can get a pull onto the turret. Okay, goes. I don't know how to feel about that. You know, Pekka's going to go down. Brock manages to jump out. Meg is literally one shot here. This is looking like SSG have completely stolen that one. 5 seconds left. I don't think they've got enough in the bag to really turn this one around yet. That is daylight robbery. Daylight robbery. I had the feeling that Gene pull wouldn't work out. I don't know why you'd need to pull that 8-bit turret in that scenario. The second he used it, Gene's no longer a threat. Deals no damage. Yeah, that was definitely a threat. Like, I think that could be a clever play if there was like 45 seconds left, a minute left. But wasting that utility, it cost him the game completely. It cost him it, because if I know from a Gene player, right, the amount of pulls I've missed in those situations, and then the opponents just collapse onto me because I'm no longer a threat, it's cost me so many times. So in that scenario, you need to just have discipline, hold on to your pull, but it doesn't matter. They're able to get a good lead here. It's like Kai Dog can actually finish off the kill onto Byron though, so not the end of the world. We do need a kill onto the Meg because she does have the blue star there. So, oh, that could kill Motep. So that's a better pull. But Adino actually teleports in straight away. Does get lit up a little bit. Meg's going to get taken down. A great kill from Kai Dog though. Stealing the lead again. He's going to get taken down by that Byron shot though. Yeah, I felt like he should have just jumped out. It definitely overstayed his welcome. I just got that feeling as soon as he used his super. But it's good from Pekka nonetheless. He can sniff out the danger and clean up. So I'm not too sure. What do they even need? I think they need 2. Yeah, they need 2 kills. This isn't looking good for SSG. This clearly looks like a FUT win, to be honest, especially once Gene gets his pull. What can FUT really do here? They have an 8-bit turret. They just need to get it down, try and push back. Kai Dog's going to get taken down again. And this looks like it's going to go all the way, folks. Literally, it's going to go down to the last game in the set. You couldn't call it any closer in Latam. I know I always say that Latam's not the most interesting to watch, but in this type of scenario, it is insanely interesting to watch. Again, SSG haven't got enough to really pull it out. And this is going all the way. I would be nervous if I was you, Roll. This is... everything is on the line. Prepare for some crazy celebrations. When there's so much on the line, you just see, especially in Latam, things just get very heated. They're very passionate. over there, which you love to see. I love the player cams a lot of the time, and a lot of time they always make me laugh. Anyways, going down to the Y here, if I was to predict, I'm gonna say FUT after that blue. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm anyway. Actually, I don't know, it's too close to call, but I would go with FUT just because of how that last game went. It just feels like SSG haven't really got their setup ever, so that's why I think FUT will win. Like, you surely with an 8-bit comp, you get the lead and you sit and spawn, but it doesn't seem like the case. Motep's going to get a pull onto Ficro as well, and that is a 3-star lead. They need to get 2 kills or 1 kill onto the Meg, which just isn't the greatest. Meg, of course, is a hard brawler to kill. He's going to get completely melted down. Manages to stay alive just, though. Again, this is making me think, like, maybe Kydog should have just used the break gadget, just in case they were pressured like this. I know he used it to defend a Gene super, but there's hardly any walls on this map, so if you can break open everything, just makes it really easier to push into them. Meg's going to go down really weak here. SSG got him in a good position. This is where a Brock super would come in very handy. Also, if we can get the 8-bit turret up even more aggro, Pearl's going to get Meg very weak. Again, there's no Brock super to kind of finish off the kill, but he does get the kill onto Pekka. Now, this is going to be very, very close. Just 1 kill is all they need with 40 seconds left. They definitely don't need to over-aggress or do anything stupid. That's a great wall break from Brock. Now it gives him another 30 seconds to cycle 1 more super, and then FUT are completely exposed. They're already on the back lines with 30 seconds left. This is a bad position for FUT to be in. Pekka's going to use gadget, get some good taps in, gets his super. Might be able to use it onto Kydog here with some good timing. Looks like the Meg's going to get completely melted down out of mech. This is looking very good for SSG. Kydog's going to get pretty weak. I don't know where this is going to go. 13 seconds left. Insanely tense situation here. Edinho with a more aggressive super. Ficro with his hypercharge. Oh, what is even happening right now? SSG have stolen the lead. They've completely stolen the game. They're on the back foot, 1 second left, and they managed just to steal that. That was just absolutely insane. Oh my. Look at that. No, that actually gives me goosebumps. That gives me goosebumps. There's just no better feeling in the world. You love to see it. Like, look at, he's going crazy. Kydog is hilarious. He's hilarious. Oh, that is... Yeah, but you also hate to see it on the side of FUT. That is as insane as it gets, and as Orc says, oh my word, you couldn't have put it any better than that. That is just absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm actually lost for words. That is a great game of Brawl Stars. So, I mean, commiserations to FUT. They nearly pulled off a magical story. But it's not really magical, but you know what I mean. Like, they were really, really suffering for most of the year. Got 2 wins in the monthly finals. I felt like they just pushed themselves too far back in the end there. And in Bounty, you can't really do that because it's just so easy when your backs are against the wall for you to lose a lead. And, you know, FUT, the Gene pull as well. I want to see this replay. Hopefully they show the replay of that ending, because the Gene pull actually hurt him in the end. And that's always, it seems to be the case with Gene's hypercharge. So if we win that second game, and then here's the last 10 seconds. So to go with a hypercharge, Gene goes with a hypercharge pull, but he actually... yeah, that's another bad play. I just... Nah, look at him go. Look at him go. He doesn't even know what to do with himself. He loved the chairs as well. All right, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. What an insane game. Yeah, see you guys next time.